Hi guys, and welcome back. Today we have a update on our F90 M5, which we've called Lycan. The last time you saw this car, we were in Italy having the Supersprint exhaust developed, and then we drove the car back over to the UK and carried out the final testing. So far this project has the Venturi intakes developed, which we will do a separate video on when we get time, the full Supersprint exhaust including downpipes, and now it's time to tune the car. We've been driving the car around stock for around 5,000 miles, and we did start developing the tune at around 5,000 miles. The car was new, platform was new. I wanted to make sure everything was okay before we started pushing it a little bit further. So now it's time to go through the stage 2 tune. The reason why I'm going to do stage 2 is, I'll just set off, we have VMAX coming up in around 3 weeks, and we want to take the car stage 2 rather than stage 1, but whatever we learn from stage 2 will transfer over to our stage 1 anyway. So in terms of the power figures we're hoping to see, I guess they're going to be the same as what we saw on our F10 and what we see on our customers' F10s, because the engine's more or less the same, which is stage 1 at around 700 horsepower, and then stage 2 at around 750. Now I will say the stock car is fast anyway. When I first drove the car, I did say it feels like a tuned F10, and the reason for that is because the car puts its power down so well. In the F10 it's always a challenge putting the power down that it makes through the rear wheels. The F90 manages the power really well and still manages to feel like a BMW, which is a good thing. So we're gonna go for a quick drive, remind us what the car is like stock, and then we will get the car on the dyno and do some power runs, and then show you what our stage 2 tune is capable of. And if I get a chance, I'll also drag you test the car so we can show you an improvement in 100 to 200 kph times. With the first stage of our development done, we are now at 743 horsepower, up from 631. So this is our stage 2 tune, or the first iteration of it, which is designed for a car with downpipes. So this car currently has Venturi intake, downpipes, and a full Supersprint exhaust. You can see from the power, the telling thing here is not just the peak difference. The peak on the stock car is just over 5.5, but the peak has actually moved up more towards 7,000 RPM. So when the car is racing or trying to do some good draggy 100 to 200 times, it's always going to be within its power band. In terms of torque, the car is up to 750 foot-pounds of torque. Now on the F10s we would be capping that at around 700 foot-pounds of torque, because the DCT gearbox would start slipping the clutches, but as this car has a 8-speed ZF, we're expecting it to take a little bit more power. But you can see we've kind of fed the power in the same way the stock one's coming in to try and protect the drivetrain. During development, obviously dyno testing is important in a safer environment, but we've also been draggy testing the car on a private track, 100 to 200. So stock it was doing around 7.4, and now we've got the car down to 5.8. Now the interesting thing about that is that's about as fast as we got our F10 M5, and that actually had a little bit more power than this, and the reason being the F90 is a little bit lighter and obviously puts its power down really well. On the F10 we were really struggling with traction, so when we were launching in third gear to try and get the good in gear times, it would grip all the time, so a lot of the time we were getting a little bit of wheel spin. So with that done for now, I think there's bit of improvement to do maybe in the future. We'll learn as we're going along. Let's jump in the car and see what it feels like on the road. Just driving around casually, the car feels completely like stock. It's still smooth, which is good. I have put probably around 1,000 miles on this tune already, kind of daily driving it and testing the acceleration. And it says docile when you want it to be, and when you want to accelerate, it just goes. And I mean, it's wet today as well, and it's still got so much grip, this car. It's amazing. If I was in the F10, I'd be going sideways or facing the other way if I did that. So when we develop a tune, that's kind of what we're aiming for. We're aiming for the car still to behave completely normally when you're just driving around, to the point that you can't tell the car has the extra power, but then when you want to use it in whatever situation, it just pulls. Yeah, it's impressive, and you can really feel what I was showing you on the dyno graph, where the peak figure has moved further towards the red line. The pull is just relentless. That BHP curve is actually quite linear, and that's a good thing. What I'm really looking forward to now is actually taking this car to VMAX, which is in a couple of weeks. If you've been following our channel for a while, you've seen us taking our F10 M5 there and racing a lot of supercars and even some hypercars, and we would always be at a disadvantage off the line and then reel them in towards the top end. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of advantage we get from a launch. So look out for those videos. I guess they'll be out in around 3 weeks. VMAX is on the 22nd of March, so we normally try and get the video out sort of the week after if we can. Now this tune is available in-house at our HQ, and we can also do it remotely. This obviously is running the stage 2 tune, but we can also do stage 1 tune, which would be around 700 horsepower and just over 600 foot-pound of torque, because I know a lot of people don't like running downpipes because of either the smell or the noise. So we do have those two options, just like we did with the F10. The plans for this car in the future are, once we've done this VMAX in March, is to fit the Supersprint manifolds that we had made while we were in Italy when they were making the exhaust. I'm wanting to get one VMAX out of the way, see how the car is in stage 2 before we start adding any more. And then after we've done those turbo manifolds, is to go hybrid turbo and see how we get on with those. So really pleased with the project so far. We did wait a little while before tuning it, but that's just purely because I wanted to make sure everything was okay, and I look forward to seeing what this car does this season. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you'd like to watch more of this project, you can do so over here. If you'd like to watch what YouTube suggests you might like from our other videos, you can watch that over here. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comment section and we'll do our best to answer them for you.